There's a great many things you can do in Red Dead Online. You can protect a convoy, you can ride a horse, you can feed your horse, you can brush your horse, you can clean your gun, you can brush your teeth to make them look shiny and new. You can play poker, you can watch a show, you can find buried treasure, you can buy things, you can sell things. What can you sell? How about some goods, some moonshine, perhaps some long lost alcohol balls, or some tarot cards. You can change your hair, your facial hair, and you can shoot a tree, shoot a person, you can hunt a turtle, you can hunt a person, you can also, hunt a person? There are two levels to the Bounty Hunter role that you can buy, the Bounty Hunter's license and the prestigious Bounty Hunter license, but despite it having prestigious in the name, the second license is a bit of a cook. This is because it only adds 10 new levels of the rewards that you can earn. So what can be earned? Well, you can get a camp theme that makes the tents you get look better, you can get a new Crips outfit and some new outfits, and a wagon that can help with bounties that have multiple targets. You can also get a new lasso that can be used to help you bully your friends for even longer. There's also a few new horse breeds, but who cares about them? But the best reward that you can earn has to do with the fact that you can now spin your gun. From my knowledge, there are 4 types of bounties. Legendary bounties, which consists of 13 targets that can be from cults, to drugs in the swamp, to train heists in New Austin. The other 3 bounties you can do are chance bounties, which are bounties at targets you can come across in the wild. The second you can do is player bounties, and the last you can do are normal bounties, which consists of you tracking a target and bringing them to the nearest sheriff's office. But they don't give us much cash, so let's talk about the best part of being a bounty hunter, the legendary bounties.
Okay, this crazy son of a bitch, Virgil Edwards, the Shepherd, leader of a sect called the Seventh Generation, who believe mankind's about to face its final reckoning. A sadist with a silver tongue who's been gathering lost souls from far and wide, promising eternal salvation. He's gone to ground, hasn't been seen in months, but folk been saying he's put out a call to arms for some kind of mass cleansing of sin. Groups of his followers are camped out in Roanoke Ridge, north of Annisburg, waiting for their shepherd to appear and show them the way. Maybe one of them has some information that'll lead you to him, so he can face his own reckoning.
I start my journey near Annisburg in search of the mad cultist. I have 3 locations on my map. Turns out the shepherd left a note as to his location with some of his priests. I have to find that note. My first location takes me to a camp of cultists who are sharing stories of the shepherd.
Who have you have asked me about my shepherd? Well, I had the occasion to know him back before he went into hiding. So, while we wait for his word, why don't I clear up a little truth from fiction?
But apparently, through pure divine intervention, they seem to have gotten the power to sense my near presence, because they all immediately know where I am. But unfortunately for them, I don't believe in the divine, so I kill them all. Then, after all the bloodshed, I searched the cultist to find he had nothing. Ah, for fuck's sake. Now, off to location 2. I find a convoy of cultists who seem to be taking a fellow cultist who appears to have defected and needs to be killed, so I decide to intervene. And after I free the civilian, who appears to have had a religious relapse,
Thanks, fools! Ha ha! Your behemoth has arrived! Wait! The darkness is lifted! I can see clearly once more! Cleansing! It's saving souls! The reckoning is coming! Untie me! I won't take part!
then I search the other cultists to find that they indeed do not also have the note. Oh my fucking god. So the note must be on the last search area. And in the last area we find another camp, and it turns out they are having a sacrifice, which I do try to stop, but unfortunately, that doesn't go well. And I take up the high ground and pick off the weak. Obi-Wan, you would be proud. Then I venture inside the cave to find the note, which I find on a priest who seems to have died. Now I know the location of the shepherd. So once I get there, I find that the shepherd is preparing a genocide.
The Unawakened! Are we surprised?
So after I draw him out, it turns out he's wearing a full suit of armor. Because of course he is. And it takes most of my shotgun ammo to take him down.
Light may dim, but it will not extinguish. You are no normal Unawakened.
And after I hog-tie him, I take him to the prison wagon so he can face a reckoning of his own.
No, stop! Damn you to hell! Yeah.
Mr. Philip Carlier. I don't know where to start with this one. I remember when his poster first went up. Mild-mannered, they said. Well, they all are, until they ain't. I might have even looked for him too, but none of us could find him. It sounds like they spotted him in the swamps. If that's where he's been, on the run all this time, then God help him. Ain't much in the way of company out there, or much that won't try and eat you or put you on a pike. Got to ask what years of that might have done to his mind.
Philip seems to be hidden in the swamp, and is pretty happy to see us, but it turns out this was all a hoax, because he immediately drugs us and we find ourselves in the swamps, pretty doped up. So we have to fend off Philip, because if we don't, well... After a short while of fending off Phil, the effects of the drugs wear off, and then we must hunt down Phil, while avoiding the crocs. Now a word of advice, while hog-tying Phil, make sure you're away from any locals, both human and croc, because this can be a problem. So you can drag him till he's dead and hand him in dead, but you don't get as much money. So you can try your best to bring him alive. In the search area, you can find clues to help narrow down the current search area. Or you could be a true Chad and run around randomly, find him quickly, tie him up and take him to Saint Denis jail.
Rehabilitation might be beyond them, but we may hope. Well, that's what they were, and not a penny more.
Goddamn anarchist. Sergio Vincenza. He ain't even American either. Did you know he was gonna kill the governor if they didn't find him out? And who can guess how many minds he poisoned talking that collectivist nonsense? Stopping this loudmouth is what the law was made for. Ain't gonna be easy, though. I heard he's bedded in deep with a bunch of these zealots. Oh, and he's a former military sharpshooter, too.
My brother, liberty will be shackled at all cost. That is how government works. I used to use this rifle to fight for them, but now it is turned the other way. Whatever happens, we must be strong, amigo.
The next target we must track down is an anarchist sniper, and he's hidden himself just outside Ansburg and has surrounded himself with the entire population of Madagascar. So the best thing to do is to run in there as fast as possible, kill whoever is in your way, and then hog-tie the sniper and get out of there as quickly as possible, and then make your way to Ansburg and reap the rewards of...
This here boy! Hey, Jackie!
Okay, so that didn't go to plan. Take two. So this time we sneak into the camp and take out whoever we can silently. Oh no, okay, I completely understand. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, I get it. Now that option is out of the way, I decide to work my way up the tower and kidnap the sniper and kill whoever's in my way.
Get your ass! Hey, I got a bullet for you, Randy!
And then I ride down to Ansburg, and this time I ride all the men on horseback and hand in the anarchist. Now it's time for a more difficult bounty. So ladies and gentlemen, be prepared to meet...
Now, this gentleman, Mr. Tobin Winfield III, he's more used to signing off on bounties than being the subject of them. But no one cries when a corrupt politician gets their comeuppance. I believe he's hiding out in Thieves' Landing. Yeah, the man's a thief, but not the same kind as the rest of them down there. I'd wager he won't survive the week. From the looks of this poster, you're to recover the deeds that he stole, so make sure you find them.
Now before we continue with Toby's bounty, I want to say this thing about Toby's mission and how unfair it is, because this guy rides his horse at the speed of dark, and if you die before the first checkpoint, guess what? You gotta follow him all over again, and the enemies aren't marked on your map, because, you know, screw you, and they throw about 500 enemies at you, so only attempt this mission if you have one or two things: an immortal soul which has become numb to pain and wants to feel it again, or two, a friend who is better at the game than you, which is what I had. So here's how that went.
This better not be them. It's not them.
I'm here. I'm here. You got me. I come willingly, but please hear me out. I'm in danger. Not from you, fine people. Rather some cutthroats I was quite unwise to trust. I promised them the deeds that I misappropriated if they would help me flee. Now, I have it on good authority that they mean to kill me for those deeds. Protect me, and they're yours. I'll give it all back. Yes? Good. Good. Follow me. They will be here very soon.
We started off by finding Tobin, and we began to escort him to the Lost Steeds until we were attacked. And again, the enemies weren't on my map, and I will admit, I got knocked down a few times, but my friend and me kill all the enemies in the end. It was mostly him, not me. Then we continue our journey, and then we arrive at the deeds after we deal with some presumed threats along the way. When retrieving the deeds, we are ambushed again, which goes as well as you'd think. And then we retrieve the deeds, and as a precaution, we tie Toby and take him off to Blackwater to face his punishment. And whilst my friend was delivering Toby, I get attacked by the remaining threats, still at large.
Well, I'll be. Didn't think I'd see this one alive or dead.
The Wolfman. You heard about him? Sounds like a tall tale, don't it? A man living up there with the wolves. I wish it was. He's a real life monster, and one that needs hunting down and... Well, one of the two ways it can go. Go up to Lake Isabella and look around those parts. You don't freeze to death, you might just find him. Be warned, though, like most things wild, I expect he'll be skittish. His wolves, on the other hand, might not be.
Now, the Wolfman... Oh, I hate the Wolfman. Whether it be from snowstorms or waves of wolves that you scare your horse off so you can't fight back much. Or it'd be the fact that he deals a quarter of your health with one punch. This guy is annoying, but when you know what you're doing, he can be quite simple to deal with. For example, when dealing with wolves, just stand on a higher object, for example the wall. It deals with them perfectly. But do be careful, because if the Wolfman does happen to get stuck in an area, he will fall into the void, and you'll have to do it all over again. On my second attempt, I found him on a hill, and after killing the wolves that are protecting him, I chased him down a hill and captured him. But after a few wolf attacks, I do end up dying. But it turns out, once you hog-tie him, you checkpoint, so let's not worry about it. And after a while of riding, I arrive at the old town, so I can hand him in, and then I see it, with a bear, so let me deal with this bear real quick. And then once the bear has been dealt with, I can hand him in.
Bear baiting Yukon Nick. Why, shit. I knew his ways would catch up with him someday. He's a trapper, but maybe more like a feudal lord, way he runs that country up there. It's medieval, I tell you. Anyone wants to trade fur near Nick, they got to be ready for a fight. So I guess that's what happened to get him in trouble. They sent a marshal up there to speak to him a few days ago. Been captured, most like. Don't let that happen to you.
Usually, Marshal, these dogs who fight my bears. Shit, but no you. I make a special case. We'll be fine. But first, we drink. Come on.
Yukon Nick, or as I call him Santa, has taken a sheriff hostage, so we must go in there and kill whoever gets in our way. I start off by silently taking out one of the men, and then I blow up 2, and then I release 2 captive bears, and once that's done, I pick off the rest of the men, and then I face Yukon.
Stop! We're coming out! Don't shoot! Your friend the Marshal here. Come to save you, huh? Huh? Hey, please. Looks like you had me cornered here. I'm going down. He going to.
Because the sheriff was weak enough to be captured, I kill him too. And after I capture Yukon, I bring him down to Blackwater for punishment.
Less gruesome business bringing them in alive. This part, at least. How them coins look for your efforts?
Beau Finley. Damn, I'm starting to wish I'd kept this fool for myself. Rich dandy who read one too many dime novels, out there trying to play outlaws with the big boys. Loves himself just as much as his daddy clearly didn't. Spent his inheritance rounding up the best gunmen money can buy, but they don't give a damn about Beau. Their only job is to make him look good, get his name in the newspapers. He and some of his fancy rifle club friends have taken over the old mansion at Shady Belle. Lots of guards, lots of weapons. Nothing but the best for young Beau. So why don't you head over there and dirty up his suit a little?
Beau seems to be held up in an old house and has himself held up with Gatling guns and cannons and lots of men. So after a few attempts of fighting off Beau's men with lots of bullets, I find a hog-tied man in back who simply tells me where Beau is.
Watch yourself. There's some blowhard barking wolves that drawing you there, and that place is wide open dynamite.
And once I get there, I take Beau back and he starts crying like a little kid. But we will take Beau to Rhodes so he can face his punishment.
Take off now.
Whom do we have here? Got a cold cell all lined up for them. Here's your due.
The Owlhoot family. First off, they ain't no family. More like an unhinged congregation of the worst bastards and bitches on God's green earth. You think they look bad on this poster? Wait till you see how folks look after the family's done with them. Bringing just one of these Owlhoots down will not cut it here. You'll have to get all 4 of them that's on the list. They shouldn't be too far away from each other, but you'll have to do some looking. And when you get them, don't hold back.
Before bounty targets are spread out over New Austin, however, it's a pretty simple thing. Go to one of 4 locations, kill a few guys, beat up the target and take them to the wagon. Rinse and repeat 4 times and that's it. This bounty is pretty simple and the only notable thing about it is that one of the targets talks about nuts a lot.
You got some stones, I'll give you that. Got a real pair of stones on you. Be one thing snuffing me out. Taking me in alive. Wait! Trusting some deputy to keep me locked up until the hangman comes? Well, that is brave. Brave or stupid. Think they'll hang me? Really? You trust them to? With the whole family out there looking? Their odds ain't good, partner. you'll be betting your whole life. Like I said, you got some stones. I can hear them rattling around in that head of yours. I reckon I could last a minute, two, hanging by my neck, wouldn't know the difference. Maybe I'll see, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll live to show you my scar. There's some good ears on that head. I'm gonna get out of this. Is that the wagon?
I sure hope this one ain't a talker.
The next bounty target is a special one because it's a woman. That's right, big up for equality.
All right. Etta Doyle. Used to be known as Madame Le Pearl. She runs a gang of other fallen women, sticking up trains and coaches mostly, but seems to have a particular fancy for robbing Leviticus Cornwall of late. So his men have set a honeypot to lure her in. Tipped her off about a big stash of money and ammunition at Cornwall's freight yard in Saint Denis. Asked if I can send some good bounty hunters their way. Just be careful. They play smart.
Looks like she only sent one.
Okay, we gotta move fast here. Come on. Now the bait's already been set. Etta Doyle and her girls could be here any minute. Mr. Cornwall, you don't want his name anywhere near this for reasons I'm sure you can understand. Just wants it dealt with quick and quiet. You're gonna want to ensconce yourself in here. Now wait till they bust in, and then, when the moment's right, ambush Miss Doyle and escort her into custody. They want her alive.
You get paid, we get rid of her, everyone's happy. Now don't worry about her cronies. She's the one with the price on her head. They're notorious for dressing alike, so you bide your time, you figure out which one's Doyle. You'll know for sure when you see her face. Got a big old scar down her right cheek.
And we're just gonna hang around and stand guard, create some semblance of security, and just pray the crazy bitch don't bust in and shoot us straight in the face. All right, now, it's time. Find a place to hide, and we'll wait for the guest of honor.
So we need to wait for this band of angry women to show up and see if I can spot the lady. But luckily for me, I have a small cheat. It's called the minimap, and it tells me which one of them is the leader. So after a small shootout and a chase, I tie her and take her to the police station.
I'm glad you got him alive. Retribution shall be visited. Well, I guess all that's left is your payment.
Next bounty.
Ah, Barbarella Alcazar, our bandit queen. Sooner her bloody reign comes to an end, the better, I'd say. I'm a mite sad I ain't gonna be the one to bring her down myself. Let's see. She came over this side of the San Luis with a bunch of men, Del Lobos for the most part. And there ain't been no let up in bloodshed since. I think they're all held up at that old mine, Gaptooth Breach. Unless you're real delicate, I would expect a confrontation with this.
The Bandit Queen is a pretty simple bounty. You have to go to one of 3 locations to find the Queen and take her to Tumbleweed.
This little son of a bitch, Cecil Tucker. His crime was cowardly, killing good folks in their sleep. And he's been a coward ever since, running off and hiding out. But I'll tell you what, if your crimes are heinous enough, they're gonna catch up with you. I hear he went to the Lemoyne Raiders over near Fort Brennan, hoping they'd protect him. And most probably they will. Up to a point. They fancy themselves guerrillas, this bunch. So I'd come ready for underhand tactics of some sort.
The next bounty is such a total blue ball, because in the intro for this guy, he seems to be like the pyro from TF2, because he really seems scary, surrounded by fire and everything. And then it turns out he's with the Lemoyne Raiders, surrounded by Lemoyne Raiders. You cannot get enough of Lemoyne Raider. So once you deal with the Lemoyne Raiders, by killing them all and then using the Gatling gun to kill the rest of them, who are now attacking you in your new Disney castle. But then once the guy you need to capture shows up, and you kill all the people surrounding him and take him away, he seems to turn into every Redditor ever, and has the biggest coping session I've ever seen.
Shit. Oh, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. None of this is happening. Please tell me this ain't really happening. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to get treated like this. It ain't my damn fault. Damn, they brought it on themselves. Then they died. I didn't have no choice. Any right-thinking man would have done the same thing. I'm the victim here. I'm the one getting persecuted. A disgrace is what it is. I didn't mean for any of this, okay? If I could just take it back. You gotta believe me. Mama, what's my mama going to think? Her little boy. I wasn't meant to get caught. That wasn't the plan for none of this. Stupid. Mama. Shh. Mama. Why? Stupid. Okay, you'll see. When the press hears about this, and the judges, and the governor, they'll understand where I was coming from. They'll look after me. Good boys like me, they always do. And my mama, too. She'll know what to do about this. Mama, I don't want to go in there. Please, I don't want to go in. No! I didn't mean to burn them folk.
This one's gonna be seeing the judge real soon. All right, take your money.
Using the gat was fun though.
Oh, yes. Carmella Montes. Sweet, innocent little Carmella. Looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, but make no mistake, this is one stone-cold killer. Vicious as all hell. And by the time you realize, you'll already be dead. Can't think of an outlaw who's dropped more bodies than Carmella the past 6 months, and she ain't lost a wink of sleep over it. Got a big bunch of Del Lobos running with her now. Moved them out of New Austin into West Elizabeth, sticking up coaches, robbing, and murdering. Last I heard, they're holed up at Hanging Dog Ranch in Big Valley. Just watch yourself. Ain't no way she'll come quietly.
The next bounty is about a woman who has brought her gang into West Elizabeth, so that's their first mistake. So we step in to stop them, and after I get to the house and spend a little while on the Gatling gun, seriously, why there's so many bounties of a Gatling gun? It's fun, but chill out. I run inside the house and deal with the bounty target, and then I quickly take her down to Strawberry.
Okay, toss him around the back. I got your due right here.
Now, the last bounty can fuck off straight to hell.
Red Ben Clemson. Dresses like he's on the way to church. Acts like he's never heard a sermon. Rob enough trains, one of these companies is gonna put a price on your head. Or maybe all of them. He's a hero to some folks, a villain to others, and most likely somewhere in between. Hey, this might interest you. A fella he used to run with lost his leg, became real bitter with it. He's got himself a vested interest in Ben's demise. Meet him over at Mercer Station, he might tell you where to go.
First off, there's 3 targets, and if you get too far from them, guess what? Game over. Then, they have instant kill guns, because, you know, Rockstar does not like you. Then, they have men on horseback, who don't stop, they never stop coming, so you best be sure you've got backup, and guess what? Think you're smart and clever, and buy dynamite and fire, that's not working, because gravity exists, and the person who made the Rockstar physics engine really does not like you. In fact, they wish for your utter demise. And guess what? You think you can just grab the bounty runner? You've got to jump off a train. So good luck being down for 8 years while you're getting shot at. And guess what? Your ammo doesn't refill once you die. So eventually you'll just run out of ammo anyway. After 8 attempts, I actually gave up. Because fuck this bounty. Red Ben, you are the one who got away. But don't think you're safe because I will find you. I will find you!